Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to do a quick stream talking about what is going on in the world of crypto today. Is it going to be the end of the bull market? HEX is pumping today, along with everything else, Hedron especially. I want to talk about all this stuff. I want to talk about all these coins, all these derivative plays on HEX. There's so much that I've been thinking about lately, and I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys. So what's my strategy? And then stick around to the end because I'm actually going to be trying a giveaway during this stream. If you want a ticket to the PulseCon Power City after party, I'm going to be giving away one ticket, and it's just a test run during this stream in particular because later on I'll be giving out about maybe nine or 10 tickets, and it's going to be great. But I just want to test out this new mechanism for giveaways, and that'll be at the end. In the meantime, let's talk about the markets right now. What is actually going on? And first of all, let me just make sure my audio is okay. Let's see. Mic is good. Communicate. Yep, everything's good. What's up, everybody in the chat? Almighty Hexakin, what's going on? Sandy, Orion, Hexographer, Danish Richard, Joe Wash, Hex Monkey. Gang's all here. Trickling in. MJ Monkey. We'll give you guys some time to get in. And as always, feel free to ask questions about anything. But what's been on my mind pretty much all day is Hedron and Icosa. I mean, if you guys haven't heard about this by now, check out my previous video. I made this like a month ago, letting you all know that you should be having this on your radar, if anything. Okay, I'm not telling anybody to go buy it, but consider what it is and how it adds more game theory and complexity to Hedron and HEX, and the kind of the trinity of all three, and how they add. Essentially, what I think is happening here is just speculative stickiness, basically giving more layers of complexity for the people that want it, and making them that much more sticky, making them that much more ingrained in the ecosystem. That much more better quality community members, because people that really understand the intricacies of HEX, they're the people that tend to want to go spread the word to other people and onboard new people. So this helps adoption by helping the internal ecosystem basically double down and have more and more to think about, more and more to strategize on. And then to the greater ecosystem as well, it gives more people. You see, the thing about speculative stickiness is that I think people love complexity, especially the types of people in crypto. So the more there is to kind of figure out, basically just from a bird's eye view, the more there is to figure out with something. And with all these things, really, they're just narrative memes, right? They're crypto coins that we're all adding various features and functionality to. And whichever one wins is the ones that have the strongest community, strongest narratives, most functionality, easier user experience, better on-ramps, and all that. And we've got all this kind of collecting in one. What that is stickiness, guys. It gives people something to focus on. And what I want to focus on, what people should be focusing on, is not trading, right? It's definitely not trading. Uh-oh. Audio is cutting out, huh? Hey, guys, let me know how the audio is doing. And I think it's fine. I think the audio is fine. Post a 1 in the chat if the audio is okay. If it's not, then just let me know, okay? Jim Rat Crypto says my audio sounds great. Nice. This might be you, Hookshot. Hey, Kinetics, good to see you in the chat, brother. All right. Good. All good. So what I'm saying about speculative stickiness, guys, is that people like to feel the feeling as if they figured something out, myself included. I just went down a rabbit hole for like an hour or maybe more today, reading, listening, researching Icosa again, a second round of it, because I didn't fully understand. Like, I thought I had understood everything the first time, but the more I think about it, the more and more there is to unravel. And the more I'm starting to realize that all of these coins kind of pump each other, right? They either increase buy pressure on the other coins, or they decrease sell pressure on themselves. So, for example, when you add staking to a coin, that decreases sell pressure because it gives people an incentive to hold for a longer term. And to earn more of their coins, to earn yield, right? Staking, earning yield, beating inflation, essentially, that is what it's all about. And so staking has been a tried and true proven narrative meme that allows people to, or gets people to basically hold a coin for longer. Let's not forget with Hedron, for example, every Hedron that has ever existed, that will ever exist, had to have come from a HEX stake, okay? So, this basically incentivizes more HEX staking. If you want to mint Hedron for free and you don't want to pay for it, the only way to do that is by having an HSI or a legacy stake too, if you already were in that bucket. and it's to just press the mint button every day. With ICOSA, there's perceived scarcity as well, which is an interesting narrative meme because the supply is starting from zero. And we can talk about ICOSA and Hedron. I also want to get to a little bit about Maxi and Team and all that stuff coming up. But guys, basically, before we go there, let's talk about the overall markets. We're getting a nice little pump. Now, what do I think about this pump? Let's just get this out of the way first really quick. Okay. Is the bear market over? No, definitely not. Now, will you see the mainstream media admitting that the bear market is over anytime soon? No, they absolutely won't be, because they just started admitting that, hey, maybe there's a recession going on. So you got to think of that stuff. Anything mainstream is a super lagging indicator. And there's a lot of crappy or just, analysts that want to play it safe, that don't want to upset anybody. And they're going to not admit that the bear market is over until we reach new all-time highs, right? But that's not the time you should be buying. You shouldn't be buying the breakout top. You should be buying at the dip. So that's this span of opportunity right now. This is the time where smart money is entering. And although that same smart money might be telling you it's a bear market, there's doom and gloom, there's blood in the streets, you should be scared. When they're telling you should be scared, that's because they're loading their bags up. Okay, this is what smart money is doing. So we're getting a nice relief rally, and I think this could take HEX to maybe 7 to 10 cents, but I don't think we're going to be out of the woods just yet. We had pretty heavy resistance around the 5 cents area because there was a big convergence of basically Bitcoin at 24K. The NASDAQ and the S&P 500 were both reaching similar resistance points, and it all kind of converged, and there was a little retest, and we got batted away yesterday, but looks like the strength that I'm seeing today is showing me that we might be in for another leg up rather than another leg down. And I'm talking in the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe next month. On top of all this, midterm elections in November means that the powers that be want to make themselves look good, right? Everybody wants to say, oh, it's everything's going better, and that's because you should vote for me and all this stuff. So you need to take that with a grain of salt. I don't think we're out of the woods quite yet, but enjoy the pump and do what you will with that, because there's some pretty exciting things going on, especially in the crypto world, right? Like I just mentioned, you're going to want to keep an eye on ICOSA and how that complements Hedron, because I think that launch is going to be coming up, I don't know, like maybe the end of August or mid-August is what it was supposed to be, but you know how launch dates are, right? So that's coming up, and obviously the Maxi protocol, the Maximus.cash, Maximus DAO, is launching a team token. So basically, these two things are going to add more stickiness to HEX. These two things are going to add more complexity and better game theory on top of what already exists. So I love derivative products like this, because also not only are they launching new coins, new side mini games, new game theory, new ways to earn money, but they already have a token that exists today. Like, you've already got the Maxi token that exists. You've already got Hedron that exists. And if you guys haven't checked the price chart on Hedron lately, I think it just did a 10x in like the past month. So that raised my eyebrows a little bit, and it got me looking back into it, because I quite frankly had forgotten about it up until this point, up until my last video. Essentially, I made that video when I found out about ICOSA, and I kind of forgot about it for a while. And now I'm reinterested in it, because obviously the price is pumping. And, to tell you the truth, guys, I actually haven't sold a single Hedron. I've just been sitting on my bags and really just forgetting about it, not really giving it too much thought. But I think this ICOSA thing is going to reinvigorate that whole ecosystem. And there's a triad of basically this HEX, Hedron, ICOSA triangle. And then on the other hand, with Maximus, there's going to be this triad of Maximus-based team that's launching in the next month. Kind of, again, they say like mid-August or the next couple of weeks, but launch dates are very, as we know with PulseChain, right? Launch dates are very, very hard to guess. So give them a break. Nobody can predict a perfect launch, but these are proven guys with track records of audited software, no bugs, decentralized, known, actually physically known, no admin keys, not doing it essentially for profiting themselves at all, really. I mean, they get to profit as much as we get to profit in this ecosystem. So it's adding on to stuff that already works. And hey, what's up, Jim Rat? Coffee is diamond handed. Yes, I am actually. More so than I get accused of. That's for sure. Oh yeah, Jimmer at Crypto also says there's a new this guy Crypto Sloth. If you haven't followed him yet, give that guy a follow. He's kind of a Hedron expert, I would say. And him and Cryptographics did a great stream the other day, so check that one out. And I'd recommend they really deep dive over what this all is. They're diving into it more than I'm going to dive into it today because I want to keep things at a simple, high level. Because half of you guys watching might not have any clue about what Hedron and ICOSA is, and half of you might not even care, right? But if you do have questions, like specific questions, let me know. So there's a couple of strategies and ways you can go about Hedron and ICOSA. Basically, you can make a wrapped stake, and then you can essentially sell it back to earn some ICOSA. You can buy ICOSA on the open market, which is fine. Or you can stake your Hedron and slowly earn a trickle of ICOSA. But the thing about it is that the supply is starting from zero. So you've got this scarcity aspect to it that I think is going to be interesting. You know, we saw that with Pulse Doge a little bit. The fact that there's less coins means there's a higher unit on them. You know, does it mean that they're actually going to pump harder? Not necessarily, right? But having a higher unit, you know, at those lower dollar values, it's a double-edged sword. I think unit bias, when you have higher units, it makes it so that people might be more inclined to buy them at first because they seem more real. Like, oh, this thing is $1. It must be more real or more legit than this thing that costs $0.0000001, right? Like Hedron. But Hedron, in my opinion, is much more legit, to be honest. I mean, I like it a lot more than something like Pulse Doge. But, you know, Pulse Doge just did a double, maybe even a triple, right? It went from $3 to, what, $9? So a 3X is not life-changing, but it's a nice little pump, right? I just think that maybe with when it comes to unit bias and lower denominated units versus higher, the higher denominated units are easier for noobs to pick up and be like, oh, this is legit, but it also gives them less perceived room to pump, right? Because to make a 10,000x in something that's already $1, that thing has to become $10,000, right? And how realistic do you think it is for a new person to get their mental framework around a new coin, a new meme coin being $10,000, right? Especially on thin liquidity and all this stuff. Now, hey, one day, maybe, right? I'm not going to say anything's impossible, but that's my thoughts about how that whole thing works. Hey, well, SJ's in the chat. Nice to see you, as always. Bob the Guy says, ICOSA. I don't know. I'm not sure. Is that like an ad, Ricola? Cryptographics and Sloth got the best info. Yeah, they seem to know their stuff when it comes to ICOSA, and so do I. I understand what everything does, but I got to brush up on the white paper. There's another cool way to get ICOSA too, which is the source address NFT bonus. And if a lot of this stuff is going over your head, guys, check out icosa.pro and just read. You know, go to the chat rooms, the Telegram chats, read the white paper, and spend a good hour trying to understand it. And then you can come back with, you know, educated questions about what this coin is, what it does. It essentially is basically tradable stakes and then a derivative market. So basically, it allows you to take out, in addition to tradable stakes, it allows you to take out a loan on your HEX stakes in the form of Hedron tokens. So the amount of B shares you have multiplied by the amount of days in your stake that you've completed gives you your mintable Hedron for that day. And alternatively, what you can do is you can choose to mint all the Hedron that stake would ever be able to mint, and you can mint it all at the same time. So you've got a 1,000-day stake, and it's 100 days through. You could either mint with no repercussions. You can mint 100 days worth of Hedron right now, or you could mint 1,000 days worth of Hedron, all of your Hedron in a lump sum, all right now. The only deal with that one is that if you're minting future Hedron, that's essentially like a loan, or they call it an advance, right? Like a cash advance, an advance. It's basically a loan. And so you have to then pay that back. And the interest payments are very minimal. Okay, they're very minimal. And the interest does get burned, actually, which makes Hedron a little more scarce. But the thing is, I don't personally like to take out loans in something as volatile as another cryptocurrency, right? I'd be much more interested in using the lending protocols like liquid loans or fiat when they exist because they will be able to mint a stable coin, right? And I mean, yeah, there's some plays you could do, but I'm not going to get that crazy with it, right? Coffee reminds me of the fawns. Thanks, man. Unit bias works, but it's an illusion. Yeah, it's an illusion both ways, right? It's an illusion to have really small units, and it's an illusion to have really larger units too. I'm just saying that I think that the way that it works with smaller units is if something is 0.000001 cents, it has room to grow to 1 penny, and that's a 10,000x right there at 1 penny, right? Something like Bitcoin, going from 60,000 to 6 million, doing a 100x in Bitcoin, that just seems outrageous to people. Nothing is impossible. Obviously, it's just a matter of liquidity and then supply and demand. But I think it's kind of like when you're starting a coin off, it's an interesting experiment. And we've already seen with HEX that HEX did a 10,000x and it had 4 zeros in front of the decimal point at one point in time. It really did. And the people that bought that dip, they made the 10,000x. They captured most of that. I didn't capture all of it, but I wrote it. I wrote HEX from the 1x to 10,000x, and then obviously I wrote it back down 90% too. So, but I'm still up heavy, right? And that's the cool thing about the math on these X's, right? If you do a 90% dip from a 10,000x, you're still up 1,000x. If you do a 90% dip from a 1,000x, you're still at a 100x. If you do a 90% dip from a 100x, you're still at a 10x. But if you do a 90% dip from a 10x, you're right back where you started. And that's kind of what we saw with Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin was so heavy and it went from 5,000 to 50,000, let's say, just for the nice numbers, right? And now it's all the way back down to 20,000 or whatever. The people really only made like a 2 or 3x overall in terms of their gains. Whereas the people that were in coins that went up 10,000x, and even if they did fall 90%, right? Even if they fell more than Bitcoin, they're still sitting up about 1,000x or a couple 100x. Orders of magnitude more than Bitcoin is up. So people don't get this, but you need to get that through your head. And I would try to even rewatch that. Think about what I'm saying right there. You want coins that pump much, much higher, because when they dip much, much more in percentage terms, you still land higher than you were, right? And again, now is the time to load up your ships, get your seats on the new rocket ships, right? What are the new rocket ships? Well, there's going to be PHEX, right? What's the best way to get PHEX? Buy HEX now, today, before PulseChain exists. And then PulseChain and PulseX. These are going to be the primary 3, I think, highest performing in the next bull market, in my opinion. But then there's this whole ecosystem too, and there's side projects. And a lot of you guys might get sidetracked by, shiny object syndrome. That's going to happen to a lot of people. A lot of people are fighting to take your attention away from you, but you have to realize, which coins have the most established communities, the most professional people behind them, the longest track records that are truly admin key free, that have a track record, proven to not be buggy. 90% of these projects, even if they have good intentions on PulseChain, guys, they're going to be rug pulls, or they're going to fail due to technical issues. It's going to be all kinds of issues going on PulseChain. And then on top of that, if you're lucky enough to pick a coin that doesn't fail, or that doesn't scam out, or that doesn't have liquidity issues, or that, if you're lucky enough to pick a semi-legitimate coin, you then have to consider, is this coin really going to market and onboard enough new people to outperform, a 100 to 1,000x, which I think PulseChain and HEX can easily do. Can some of these coins really do hundreds or thousands of X's? I mean, the answer to me is almost always no. And so that's why I only really like a very few coins outside of the HEX ecosystem. So when it comes to my crypto investing strategy right now, I like things that complement, or that underlie, or that add value and functionality to the coins that I already think have the highest price potential to pump, because we're all here to make money. Okay. Like, a lot of people need to admit to themselves that, yeah, it's cool to have crazy high technology and all that, but we're all here to make money, and we need to decide which narrative memes are going to pump the highest. I think that's going to be HEX, PulseChain, PulseX. And that's why I like derivative products, Hedron, Icosa, Maxi, Base. That's why I like supporting, platforms such as liquid loans, fiat, things that would allow you to extract value without having to sell the price down. That's why I like those two things. I like free airdrops, obviously. Who doesn't like a good free airdrop, right? I like certain satellite projects that I see bringing in new clusters of people, pockets of people to PulseChain, right? For example, like I didn't invest in Texan token, but they're targeting people outside of PulseChain, right? That's, I think, a good thing. I did invest in Mad Energy just a little bit, and they have a whole different audience than what would have normally been in crypto, right? So I like some of these things, but very, very few outside of the ones with the best branding, the best communities, the best founders, best game theory. The whole ecosystem, the whole Richard Heart ecosystem is what I'm into. So I want to give you guys that. That's my personal crypto investing strategy. That's what I think is going to make a lot of people winners in PulseChain. Or, maybe if you just double down and like create a project, create a coin, but creating a coin is so risky, right? If you don't really know what you're doing, you could blow everything up, lose everyone's money, even if you're not trying to, right? Even if you're a good person, good human beings, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? So, and it's definitely not too late. I think a lot of people have this I'm too late for HEX mentality, so I'm going to make a new meme coin and hope it pumps to the moon. That's never been less true. You know what I mean? Like, that's like saying it was too late to buy Bitcoin after the first cycle, right? You're buying a coin that's 2.5 years old versus, and then look at all the other coins out there that never survived one cycle. And I'm confident that HEX is going to survive easily into the second cycle. And even if it does an order of magnitude less in terms of gains, even if HEX, instead of doing a 10,000x from bottom to top, let's say it does a 1,000x from bottom to top. And we know nobody plays the exact bottom and top perfectly, obviously, right? But we have to have a unique, we have to have a consistent measurement, right? If we're going to measure coins. So we go bottom to top. And even if you only capture a fraction of a 1,000x pump, which again is an order of magnitude lower than a 10,000x, you still might capture a 500x, 600x. And on top of that, staking rewards, if you got staking of like 20, 25% APY, that adds another 100x on top. So let's say you're earning 25% APY and you make a 400x. Well, really, you made a 500x because you made 25% APY, right? And not a lot of coins have that level of safe, secure, trustless interest that HEX has. So guys, is the bottom in? I don't think the bottom is in. Well, let me just rephrase that. I don't think the bear market is over, but I think the bottom might actually be in. And I don't want to speak too soon on that one, guys. I don't want to speak too soon. But I think 2.8 cents, it would be real nice if that was the bottom. And I think we're going to have to retest that in November. I think in October, November, we're going to see a retest. And, if 2.8 cents does break, we've got so many people scratching and clawing to buy at 1 penny. I'm talking about HEX, obviously, guys. I'm going back to HEX. I know I'm jumping around a little bit today. Yeah, a little scatterbrained. But I do think there's a good chance that we might have actually bottomed. And this might be the boring part, where we just kind of wobble around and just slosh around in between a range. And, the range could be pretty big, right? A 10 cent to 2 cent range is a pretty big range. But we could see HEX go all the way to 10 and could go all the way back down to 2.5. So it could go to 10 and then drop 75% again. You know what I mean? And then you're going to have people coming out of the woodwork saying that, pointing fingers at everyone, yelling about why the prices are down. And the prices aren't down because of the inherent flaws in the design of any of this stuff, guys. The prices are down because everything is down. So I think people need to take a deep breath and say that it's not because of these like distribution mechanisms. There's actually a big misunderstanding, I think, where people think that the whales that got in early are the reason that the price will continue to drop forever. Well, how come nobody was saying that at all-time highs? How come nobody was saying that at all? People were happy to buy at all-time highs, right? People don't realize that bear markets are the time to flush everybody out. So all the whales that would sell, that could sell, that wanted to sell, a lot of them have already sold. I think in HEX, that's definitely true. And yeah, of course, you're going to always be seeing the occasional, 1 million HEX dump or $200,000 dump. But, that could be traders. That could be people taking profit. Just know that every time it happens, it's getting distributed among more people and among hopefully stronger hands, right? We hope that when these distributions happen, they go to stronger hands, but chances are they don't always. A lot of times they go to trader types or they go to short-term thinkers. But the thing about having a legion of basically stakers of last resort, that's what we have in HEX. We have stakers of last resort, and it's basically like holders of last resort in Bitcoin, but on steroids, right? I've never seen a community that has had the wherewithal to lock up a coin for an average of 7 years, 6.5 years, right? I've never seen that. It's unprecedented in all of crypto. And we've got, tell me what other community is defending their bags at the level that HEX is defending their bags publicly. It's not just me. It's hundreds of YouTubers, thousands of people on Twitter. I don't know if you guys know this, but we just crossed 100,000 stakers on the global stats, right? That's pretty good to me, pretty bullish to me. 100,000 stakers. What other coin is growing in social metrics, community metrics, engagement, all this stuff? Well, everything else is crumbling around us. Companies are going bankrupt, Verge, BlockFi, Celsius, Luna, everything's crashing left and right. HEX is probably one of the only communities left on Twitter. And for the most part, I think we're having fun, right? But I think that a lot of people aren't focusing enough on how great everything is right now. I mean, yeah, it's the prices are down, right? But this is an accumulation phase. And then people just like to say that, oh, it's inherently flawed. I mean, this is an argument that comes up over and over because there are whales in the coin. It's like, well, what would you rather have? Would you rather have whales that the richer they get, the more gung-ho they get, the more conviction they have? Or would you rather have an equal amount distributed to everybody? A bunch of plebs get $100. If you gave $100, like people want to talk about a fair launch, right? This happened. You can look up Byteball in 2015. There's a couple other experiments that have been tried to do an equal or fair distribution, right? But at the end of the day, what happens is that nobody's incentivized to give enough of a crap about the project, right? No one's incentivized enough to care enough to keep the project going forward, to keep the community going forward, the narrative and all that. Now, you have a lot of trickery going on in a lot of other projects where they'll have a nice little pie chart for you and they're going to say, okay, well, we're going to give 5% to the VCs. We're going to reserve 50% for the community. And then we're going to reserve, this much for liquidity and blah, blah, blah. These don't last necessarily that long either because the community ends up just dumping and not caring, expecting somebody else to do something, right? Because there's a team. There's a team that's essentially making promises of future work, expectations. They're giving you expectations of work that they're going to do for the community, and their communities are really just a bunch of armchair quarterbacks sitting back, relaxing, and expecting other people to do their work for them. We have literally the reverse of that in HEX. In HEX, you are the network, and a lot of the high quality community members feel like they're a part of something. I feel like I'm a part of something. I'm helping to grow it. People are slapping stickers on street signs. People are doing their part. People are making, hexmerch.com. People are making businesses. People have literally made their own businesses tangential to HEX or adjacent to HEX that allow them to profit. And there's so much going on. We've got a documentary coming out at the end of the month, right? But with most projects, you've got a team of 5 people with LinkedIn headshots wearing suit and ties, and they divvy up, some percentage of coins to VCs, vulture capitalists, and then they divvy up another percentage of these coins to the community. The community is just basically like a fair weather fan, right? A bandwagon fan, a speculator. And then when shit hits the fan, like when Celsius goes bankrupt, where are all the Celsius bros? There's a couple left, but where's the whole community, right? When and I don't mean to pick on just them, right? But a lot of coins out here, they get dumped on constantly by the venture capitalists that were given money in the first place. And then when the bear market comes, they're essentially just sad bag holders that either decide to sell, capitulate, or they just kind of go into hiding, right? They're not out here getting more people into the coin. Tell me in one more community that's actively trying as hard as we are, better than we are, to get more people into the community at 90% discounts, which is literally what it is. In HEX, it's a 90% discount because we're going back up. In other coins, it's not necessarily a 90% discount because the risk is, what if it doesn't go back up, right? And yeah, of course, there's a risk with HEX too, but to me, that's the gamble I'm taking, okay? That is the gamble I'm taking. It seems like an easy one for me because we have what's called asymmetric information. If every noob was as skilled as you and I, a lot of you guys in the chat have been here for a while, so a lot of you guys know what's going on. You guys know everything that's being built. Staker app v2, all these different apps, infrastructure layers, PulseChain, PulseX right around the corner, world's biggest airdrop. Going to get thousands of people on board. The entire Ethereum community is going to come over, developers and investors alike, and they're going to have minimal friction and minimal overhead because all their smart contracts are already going to exist on a brand new blockchain. A lot of new people just say, oh, well, HEX, who cares? I mean, HEX is dead. And then PulseChain, that doesn't even exist yet. Who cares? But like the people with the eyes to see, you guys are the ones that are bullish. You guys are the ones that have conviction because, again, your information is asymmetric to other people. You know more. So yeah, new people here, it might just be easy to dismiss HEX, PulseChain, and crypto in general. It might be easy to dismiss the entire ecosystem because you got burned by it. Maybe invested in a centralized company like BlockFi. Maybe invested in something that really burned you, right? But guys, you don't want to give up on this. This is life-changing wealth that can be created right now. Like life-changing wealth can be created in the next bull run. And if you walk away and you go into hiding and you come back when the prices are at all-time highs again, or when the prices are breaking all-time highs again, like if you leave HEX and you come back when it's back to 50 cents, you just missed out on a 10x right there. You just missed out on an order of magnitude more. And you missed out on potential life-changing gains, essentially. All right. HEX is the most impressive thing I've seen in the space since 2011. Yeah, well, if you've been around that long, it really is to me as well. Is there a place to buy HEX with USD? There is for you, Igor. You can just go to buy.hex.com. There's an awesome new credit card on-ramp using Simplex. Now, be warned, when you do go to buy.hex.com, you're going to be paying approximately 10% over the spot price, but you're probably going to be paying that much anyway with gas fees, depending on how many dollars you're putting in. So for orders of maybe like $100 to $1,000, I'd recommend just going to buy.hex.com. But with larger orders, you probably don't want to take a 10% fee if you don't have to, right? So buy.hex.com is brand new, and it's pretty cool, guys. It's pretty cool. I hear you, Mr. Coffee. Pop yo shit. LOL. Thanks, Eric. What's up, man? HEX is about to double. Hey, welcome back. Be mindful of love. Good to see you in the chat again. HEX, I'm honestly surprised. So what I was thinking was going to happen was a retest of that 5 cent range. And then I thought we were going to get swatted down. And it looked like we did yesterday. But now, again, with the strength that we're showing today, I think this could just be like slicing through resistance like butter and just going right up to 10 cents. But again, I'm not a technical analyst. Like I'm just some guy on YouTube, right? This is what I'm thinking. But to me, like Hexologist likes to say, technical analysis is like it's like astrology for men, right? Take it with a grain of salt, right? We're just a bunch of people drawing lines and guessing whether or not the price is going to go up, down, left, right, or sideways. Wouldn't that be crazy if the price went left instead of right? Hey, Matthew, thank you for the tip, brother. That is really awesome. We have the same name, so you sound like a cool dude. And I like your hair, sir. Thanks for the tip. What about the Mt. Gox dump? Yeah, the Mt. Gox dump is coming up, which is, again, why. Actually, do you have a date for that? Mt. Gox Bitcoin. Let me Google that, see if I can find when that date is going to be. In the news, will Mt. Gox distributions crash the price further? I think there's a really good chance they will. A lot of people have been waiting for a long time to get their money back. Now we want to know when that's coming out. When do Mt. Gox coins hit the market? They soon hit the market. They're not being very specific. July 6th is when this article came out. Let's see. If anybody's got an exact date on this, I think it's going to be any month now, right? So that's another thing that could easily, swat down this mini relief rally that we're having too, right? So good point, Bunny. Good point. But again, if you're staking long term, then just look at the Mt. Gox dump whenever it happens. Look at it as another dip buying opportunity, right? Not this time, LOL. Bitcoin is going to 28K. Yeah, 28K is the next heavy resistance. All conditions favorable across all markets. I think I actually agree with this. It would be nice. 28K, just for the record, and I'm not a trader, right? But this is where I would be looking for maybe another leg down at that point. Just buy more HEX. You'll regret it if you don't. Thank you. That's nice and simple. Where'd you get your shields? Enjoy the content as always. That will be from shieldmasters.com. Shout out to shieldmasters.com. I just put the link in the chat. I hope I spelled shield right. Shieldmasters.com. So shout out to them because they actually sent me this PulseChain shield for free, and they have discounts available for hexicans, pulsecans, and people in the Richard Hart ecosystem. So get your hands on one of these if you can. They're pretty dope. Mount Gox. Let's see. The Roaring 20s just started. Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope we can keep printing our way out of this and everything blows over and there's no Armageddon. The one thing, like the more and more I see in the markets and in life in general, is that everything is cyclical. And then essentially there's people that make money on doom and gloom. And there's people that have a vested interest in selling you the end of the world, basically. They have a vested interest in that because they know that your human response to pain is much greater than your pleasure and response to pleasure and benefits. So you're more likely to remember, don't fuck with that lion if that lion killed your mom, right? Back in the caveman days, right? But if you're having a nice party and you have the best birthday party of all time, you might forget about it 6 months later. You know what I mean? So yeah. So don't necessarily listen to the people that tell you the world's ending. You know what I mean? Let's see. All the coins sold from Mt. Gox would only move the price about 1.5%. Are you sure about that? I don't know if that sounds right. They've got something like 800,000 coins? No, hold on. They're not okay. So they're not actually paying out that many coins to people, but 80,000 Bitcoin. Well, hold on one second. 141,000 Bitcoin. If the trustee opts to do everything in one fell swoop, he could sell 141,000 Bitcoin. That represents 8.8% of daily exchange volume, which is meaningful, but it wouldn't kill Bitcoin at all. It would just it could easily cause another panic dip though. It's, I don't think it would only be a 1.5. That seems a little low, but let me know how you calculated that. Guys, as your friend, I'm telling you not to short stocks now. Don't short crypto either. Guys, I'm telling you as your friend to not short anything ever. The reason for that is that when you short something, people like to think they're smart betting against the market. But when you short something, your potential for loss is infinite. Whereas if you long something, your potential for loss is only 100%. So if you short something and it goes up more than basically more than 100%, you have to pay all that back. You have to pay all that back because shorting is basically taking a trade with money that's not yours. You're borrowing money, someone else's money, to sell the stock price down, right? To sell it right away, hoping that the price goes down and then you could buy it back lower, right? But you still have to buy it back at some point. And so if the price goes up, let's say, more than 100%, well, now you have to buy more than 100% of what you started with. So shorting is just Wreckville. It's just Wreck City. It's the only type of trade where you can literally lose more than you put in. Well, I guess options too. It's all dangerous. Guys, just don't trade. Don't trade, period. Just long and strong. Just buy it and forget it. If you bought right, you can sit tight. Be mindful of love. Do you see a retest of the lows when Mt. Gox opens the floodgates, or do you see most of it absorbed? Well, that's not a question for me, but again, I see most of it triggering a leg down, but I mean, not crashing the market to zero or anything like that. The latter, I believe, a high probability that Bitcoin has bottomed. Yeah, that's wishful thinking, but it also makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to go to 11K. See, the 11K and pray thing that Richard Hart's talking about, the one thing that it's not necessarily accounting for is the cost of goods, or what's it called? The purchasing power of those dollars, right? So the 11K worth of Bitcoin had different purchasing power in March of 2020, the COVID dip, than it does today. So if you factor in inflation, 17K, depending on how much we've inflated, 17K could have been a monetary equivalent to that 11K. That's the one case I could see for Richard being wrong, but he's been right about a lot, and he definitely follows some high net worth individuals on trading platforms, and he knows where the liquidation points are. He used to be a trader himself. That's why he advises against it, but he still knows all the tips and tricks. He still looks at BitMEX and Deribit and all the big exchanges. I'm sure he looks at bit info charts and all. He sees the inflows and outflows and everything. And if that's his guess, I'd give that a decent probability of being right. But hey, anywhere between 11K and 17K Bitcoin, that's probably the bottom zone right there. I know it's a big difference, right? But all right, boys and girls, Crypto Coffee, great to see you, man. Hey guys, really quick, we're gonna try something out. I want to do a giveaway. So for PulseCon coming up in September 6th to September 9th, I want to give a shout out to the Power City guys. They gave me, I think, 10 tickets to give away. And right now, we're going to try just giving away one single ticket to their after party for absolutely free. So I want you guys, if you want this ticket, if you're going to the, if you're going to PulseCon, I want you to do hashtag PulseCon in a comment in the chat. If you do hashtag PulseCon in the comment in the chat, in 5 more minutes, we will pick a winner using this giveaway tool that StreamYard invented just for us. So hashtag PulseCon. PulseCon. We're going to start collecting comments right now. If you want that, if you're interested in that giveaway, I'll share this with you guys. Chrome tab, giveaway tool. Share. This is going to be it, guys. We've got 3 people in here right now, 4 people in here. Whoever wins this random draw is going to get 1 free ticket to the Power City, PulseCon Power City party. Try saying that 3 times fast. PulseChain Power City party, the PPP. And I've got more. I just want to see if this thing works well, and we'll see how it goes, right? And I'm going to be going to PulseCon, by the way, too. So I'll see a lot of you guys there. It should be pretty fun. Clearly, it doesn't look like PulseChain's actually launching anytime soon. So it might be a little awkward. We're not going to have PulseChain live at the conference, but it's still going to be a good networking opportunity. Get to meet everybody that's working on cool projects, and get to meet everybody that's doing cool stuff. Even if I'm not investing in projects, it doesn't mean I'm mad or don't like any of these people, right? Something I just haven't invested in because I just didn't want to, and maybe I will, and maybe some of these guys will prove me wrong, but we're going to be able to meet a lot of cool people talking about interesting ideas of bringing more people into PulseChain and bring more people into HEX. So that's what I'm interested in, guys. All right, 2 more minutes on that, guys. 2 more minutes. Archie says can't go, but have fun. It's all right. I'll have fun for you. Don't worry. Max Mackenzie says drunk Hexican. Nice, man, or nice girl. Let's see. 34 people. 34 people are going. That's cool. All right, guys. So what do I want to talk about? Keep an eye on Icosa. Keep an eye on Hedron. If you guys have any Icosa questions, any Hedron questions, leave them in the chat. If you have any questions about Maxi and the upcoming team launch, or you just want to know what I think about it, put those questions in the chat. Let's go ahead and do this draw, and then I will tell you what I'm doing, what my plan is right now for Icosa and for team. All right, guys. Last chance. 3, 2, 1. And the winner is Schwa. No way. The winner is Schwa. All right, Schwa, wherever you are, send me a DM on Telegram at Schwa, and we're going to go ahead and it's Crypto Coffee 369. And congrats to you, sir. You just won a free ticket. I think that ticket might have been like a couple $100, so saved you some money. Way to go, Schwa. Way to go, sir. And I'll see you at the party, bro. dude or dudette, whoever you are. You look like a feline to me. We'll see you there. Yeah, wasn't that pretty cool? It's a decent method of giveaway, right? I didn't know StreamYard had a built-in giveaway system already in there. PLSD to the moon, LOL. Jimmy Diamond says, what's up? How to get Maxi? Will they give airdrop to HEX takers? Yeah, they don't give an airdrop. So don't get scammed by Maxi. There's a lot of scammers out there that are targeting HEX people that are saying, hey, we're going to give you Maxi, or we'll give you team token, and then you get free HEX. Not true. Okay, so be really careful. And then, yeah, Schwa, make sure you DM me on either Twitter or Telegram. And my thing is at CryptoCoffee369 on both. All right, I'll get to you after the stream. And again, congrats, bro. So yeah, guys, for basically what Maximus is doing is they're launching a team token. Team is going to be kind of like we're all on the same team. It's exactly what it sounds like. And the people that are invested in team are going to get the maximum amount of benefits out of all the perpetual stakes. So if you're going to be doing these perpetual stakes, it kind of makes sense to get the most out of them by getting yourself some team token and staking it. Basically, I'm going to be buying some team, and it's a one-to-one minting. So for every maxi you put into the minting phase, you're going to get team. I'm probably going to do that in a one-to-one form with a certain subset of my maxi because I want to stack a team, not only for the staking benefits. And again, the staking benefits are that you're going to get a HEX. Basically, you're going to get HEX passively as a staking benefit every year from 50% of the bigger pays better bonuses from what's called the perpetuals. What are the perpetuals? The perpetuals are the recurring stakes after maxi. So they're the 1 year stake called base, the 3 year stake called trio, the 7 year stake called lucky, and the 10 year stake called desi. All of these stakes are called the perpetuals. They're basically just large trustless pools that people put money into because think about it, guys. It's as if you're basically making a 1 year stake, but you're getting all the rewards that somebody with 150 million HEX would have had, if we make it to 150 million, right? And we easily made it there with Maxi. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't actually have 150 million HEX. I don't know what you guys think I have, but I'll tell you, do not have that much HEX, okay? So there's actually no physical way for me to get that high of bigger pays better bonus. And so I actually do plan on investing in all future perpetual staking pool contracts. So I'm going to be investing in base, trio, desi, and lucky, all of them. And by investing in these, not only am I getting a lot more bigger pays better bonus, right? But if I have the team token and I'm staking that team token, I can get the other 50% of that bigger pays better bonus. So like essentially to really lock yourself in to maximizing these rewards for all 4 of these perpetual contracts that are going to be launched in the future after team. In order to really lock in your full rewards that you're due, you should be staking some team. But on top of that, there's speculation value in team as well. So not only are you getting a good deal in the perpetual contracts because you're getting a higher BPB bonus rewards than you would otherwise be able to get. But team is going to have a price. Team is going to have a price chart. And on years 3, 6, and 9, they're distributing a lot of that maxi that was put into the minting the team in the first place. They're distributing that back to the stakers of team. So in year 3, when year 3 ticks over, 30% of the team is going back and divvied up to all the team holders again, team stakers. On year 6, 30% more of all the maxi are getting distributed back to team stakers. And on year 9, the final 30%. So basically they're giving back 90% of all the team, right? That's pretty cool of them. And in anticipation for this, there's some game theory, right? So a lot of people are probably going to be rushing on years 2, 5, and 8. They're probably going to be rushing in to buy team on the open market because they didn't buy it at first, but they want that big airdrop of maxi. So that could make for some interesting trading opportunities in the future, right? Not trading, but some interesting profit taking opportunities, right? Let's say I want to take some profit and get my maxi. Well, I don't have to sell all my team. I could sell a little bit of team and then I could leave the rest, most of it staked, and then continue to collect maxi and HEX. And if maxi has a premium, that means I'm basically making whatever the premium is times the HEX that maxi is worth. I mean, it's just so much different potential for different revenue streams, right? So I plan on buying and staking team, and I plan on entering every perpetual smart contract. And then with Hedron, what I think right now, what I think I'm going to do is I've actually never created an HSI, but I think I'm going to do it pretty soon. Definitely before ICOSA launches, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to make it for 5,555 days. Why would I make that for that long? Well, you get a 10% bonus if you cash in a 5555 day stake to the ICOSA smart contract. And that'll basically, in my opinion, and again, if you guys have different ideas, let me know in the comments and in the chat. But in my opinion, that'll be the best way to lock in an ICOSA position early, because you're basically, after that 90-day period, you get a certain amount of ICOSA. And why not add on that extra bonus, right? By just making that stake super long and max length. And then you get a 10% bonus, and you're one of the first people to get ICOSA, because quite frankly, I don't see ICOSA being a very liquid market in the first 3 months. It's kind of like the weight token, right? It's not going to probably be liquid for some time because the supply of ICOSA starts at 0. So in order for us to give it time to establish itself, the more immediate route for me to generate ICOSA would be to make a max length HSI HEX stake, sell it back to the contract. And on top of that, what I'm also going to do is stake at least probably half of my Hedron. Probably at least half of my Hedron I'm going to stake, because the other way to get ICOSA, other than cashing in your HSI stake or buying it on the open market, which again might be illiquid and might be very, very new and young, the only other way is then also to stake your Hedron token itself. So I'm going to be staking Hedron, making an HSI, cashing in the HSI. And there's one final thing I think I'm going to experiment personally, right? I'm not telling you guys to do any of this, but personally, this is my strategy, I think. And I'm still open to ideas, right? If you guys have better ideas, let me know. But I think I'm also going to buy one of those We Are All the Source Address NFTs. And I don't know if I'm going to use HEX. I might just use HEX, because it's kind of like a sacrifice in that way. I don't predict that Alex or any of those guys are going to be dumping the HEX. And again, they could easily. So if you want to just give them USD or whatever, USDC, go ahead and give that to them. They're accepting both for the NFTs. But the NFTs are basically a game of last man standing, where it's another ICOSA staking pool. So there's 2 ICOSA staking pools, one for anybody, any old guy off the street that wants to stake their ICOSA can do that. And another ICOSA staking farm for people that hold We Are All the Source Address NFTs. And this NFT is a 1-for-1 unique, basically just token that says, hey, you are part of this collective founding class of Hedron and ICOSA. And I think that's pretty cool. I like to be early on stuff, right? And so as long as Hedron doesn't die and it has some success in the future, I'd like to establish a position very early as one of the We Are All the Source Address. I want to be part of that source address, because I want yet another income stream of ICOSA. And the cool thing about the We Are All Satoshi is that, again, like I said, it's a game of last man standing. We Are All the Source Address, not We Are All Satoshi. That was with HEX. Another cool thing about with We Are All the Source Address is that, because it's a game of last man standing, if you unstake your NFT, it's going to be like a stakeable NFT. And I think it's automatically staked. The moment you unstake that NFT, you can never restake it again. So it's a one-way street. You're either earning ICOSA forever for as long as you want to, or you can choose to shut it off and then sell it to somebody else, right? I want to be like one of the last guys. basically, I want to, and the more people that drop off of that We Are All the Source address, the higher the ICOSA rewards are for you, because there's less people to split them up in between. So if there's 1,000 people in the We Are All the Source address NFT world and 500 of them drop off next year, well, right away I'm earning double. I'm earning double the ICOSA. So I think that's going to be a very lucrative strategy for people that are as diamond handed as I actually am. So if you don't have diamond hands, maybe don't do that one, but I sure do. Be Mindful of Love says, whatever you allocate to We Are All Satoshi, divided by 3 and get 3 NFTs. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I actually didn't even, that's a good point. So you can probably buy more than 1 NFT, and then maybe you can, like, See, I don't know if they're automatically staked. I need to look into this a little more, or if they are, or if staking is like a one-time switch. Like you get to stake once, unstake once, and that's it. Because if you keep an NFT and it's unstaked, but it still has the staking ability, theoretically you could sell it to somebody else, right? Which would be kind of cool. Especially, if people start dropping like flies, and then all of a sudden you have this golden NFT that allows you to basically, let's say there's only like 10 people left in the pool, or 9 people left in the pool, and you're sitting here holding a golden ticket to a stream of Icosa. You're basically saying, hey, this NFT gives you 10% of all the Icosa generated in this particular yield pool. And so people would probably be willing to pay quite a bit for something like that. So they are automatically staked, automatically yield daily distributed to the NFT wallet address, as I understand. Okay. So in order to sell the NFT, you'd have to sell the private keys, which probably wouldn't work, because how could you possibly trust the other person? Full moon tomorrow. We are all like that. Lionsgate is open. Hey, we got some people. We got some interesting folks in here. Yeah, I thought the Lionsgate was yesterday. PulseCon says, my head is spinning. Tell me I'm not alone. Yeah, if you're new to all this, I want to make a video trying to break it down like very, very basically. That'll be the next video that I make. But you're not alone. It took me like probably 3 to 4 hours total of research to really understand what Hedron and Icosa was all about. Once it clicks, it is pretty damn cool, and you're gonna want to keep an eye on it. In my humble opinion, I'm not saying buy it, I'm not saying stake it, but it gives utility to Hedron. It reduces sell pressure for Hedron and Icosa because you're able to stake both. You can stake Hedron for Icosa, and you can stake Icosa for Hedron and Icosa. Okay. It's going to take a while for you to remember all that and to memorize all that. So be careful, but just, yeah. Hexographer says, I'm not new to this. It's still confusing. It's still confusing to me. It's hard to even talk about, right? Because you have to be careful with all the words and everything. Hey, what's up, Corey Costas Crypto Coins? Like and subscribe to this bro over here. He's a good dude. Richard Hart is the greatest person on the planet. Yes, it is. Love the Rockstar stream, my man. Thank you, sir. Yes, it was a good day. Very fun time. I like my belt-fed guns. All right. I like that too. Sickman says, what's up, Coffee? How you doing, brother? All right, guys. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the video with somebody else, especially somebody new that might be not in the ecosystem yet, that's just maybe dip their toes into crypto or they want to learn more. You can send them my way, guys. Send them my way. Send them to hexpassiveincome.com. It's a course for noobs. If you're brand new to crypto, I'll take you from zero to hero in basically less than a week. You'll learn everything about the mindset that it takes, the security that you need to not lose all your money, how to buy HEX, how to stake HEX, how to set up a staking ladder, and just all the crypto terminology that we're talking about. It might sound like another language. It probably sounds like Latin, right? But this course basically dumbs all that down, puts all the links that you need in one helpful place. And it's very, very cheap. It's a one-time fee. Can probably save you thousands of dollars of basically lost funds in terms of getting wrecked or hacked. And probably months of time when it comes to learning if you're brand new. There's also an affiliate program. If you want to sell the course on my behalf, you get 40% of the revenue. It's pretty good, right? Yeah, and if you like and subscribe and comment and share the video, do your part. It takes less than a minute. That's what helps HEX go viral. That's what helps PulseChain go viral. That's what makes all this work so well. And I know you guys are amazing at doing that, right? Jim Rat Crypto's in here. We're all just basically generating demand by telling the world about this revolutionary new paradigm shifting asset, right? It's a grassroots movement, fully organic. It's what Bitcoin was supposed to be. You're either on the train or you're not. So if you're thinking about it, get on the train, guys. You don't want to miss the next bull run. All right, bros. I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.